Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining this breakout session. Very happy to see the diversity of industries represented today. We are going to be talking about one of the strategic value propositions that Aliette and Christophe have mentioned this morning, the one about employee experience. We call it Workplace Together. I would like to, the question I hear the most often these days is, we have rolled out Teams, sometimes in a hurry because of the pandemic. It's become a big thing, there's lots of expectations hanging around it, but what is next? What should we do now? It's sort of up and running. How do we make the most of this investment we've made, and what's coming next? So I'm going to say literally 2 words about the vision we've developed. I cannot go into details now, but I'm very happy to have coffee with you later today or tomorrow. We can have expert meetings as well. They're very fancy, and I can go deeper into that vision. There are 3 things I would like us to dive into today. The first one is actually Teams itself and what you can do with it and how you can develop the value around it. That is going to be presented by Vivien here. Vivien is our European business developer around employee experience. Then we are going to talk about a tricky topic, I'm sure. Those of you who've tried to manage themselves in their tenant know how complicated it is. It's going to be cyber defense and cybersecurity with Julien here, who's our product manager from Orange CyberDefense. And at the end of the session, if we have time, we would like to have a very open discussion about Copilot. And with some of you have already started this discussion. We can see there's a lot of expectation hanging in the air, but it's going to be, it's interesting to understand together what we fear, what we hope for, and the prerequisites for Copilot as well. And that is going to be animated by Laurent, here with us today from Microsoft, who's Global Partner Director. Welcome, everybody. So very quickly on, I already said the agenda, really quickly on the vision. If you're wondering, like honestly, lots of companies at the moment, how you should take Teams and Microsoft 365 to the next level of what it can deliver for your company and what value it can create, there's only one word you have to keep in mind. It's all these investments, these platforms, they are aiming at one thing, which is unleash productivity for your workers. Now, we have developed a vision within Orange called positive productivity. And this is what we say should be the aim for any investment, any project, any transformation you might be implementing in your digital workplace today. Positive productivity is defined by 5 business outcomes that you can see on this slide here, which are achieved by cracking 5 quite complex challenges that all of you, I'm sure, are facing. We have attached to these challenges key success factors and use cases that we could go deeper into, and that we could make recommendations around. Some of them can actually support you and provide solutions for. But again, as I said, I don't have time to go into all that detail today, but I just want you to know that this vision is available. I'm very happy to discuss it further within the context of your companies to help you maybe inspire your roadmap. We are talking about Microsoft in particular today because unsurprisingly, I'm sure all of you are Microsoft users. Microsoft have had an absolutely amazing, it will go down in history books, believe me, an amazing market share for collaboration in the last 2 to 3 years. It's said that 80% of businesses and organizations in the world use Teams to some extent, which is just staggering. So there's a reason why it's interesting for all of us to understand how to make most of this ecosystem. And at Orange Business, we've been developing expertise around Microsoft, not just in the past 2 years, but for longer. And we're trying to be as good as a partner as we can. And maybe, Laurent, do you want to say a few words about the partnership between Microsoft and Orange Business?
Yeah, one thing which is quite important for Microsoft in partnering with Orange is that first, this historical relationship that we have together with Orange. Second, the global footprint that Orange has, which allows both of us to support our customers worldwide. And second, the new vision that was shared this morning about the strategic value proposition are really matching the strategy Microsoft is putting in place in terms of employee experience, meaning everything a user can do on his daily job Whether it's sharing information, collecting information, producing information, this is exactly where Orange has developed a high capability. So this explains the reason why we are partnering so tightly with Orange.
And I propose we go straight into our first topic, which is Teams itself and what you can do about it. Vivien.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So I will start with one figure because, as mentioned by Marie-Hélène, positive productivity is totally related to employee experience and enhancing the employee experience, and that's why I'm focusing on Teams today, which is already how to enhance the knowledge worker employee experience. So 82% of employees would like their company to do more to improve the quality of their digital experience. So there's already a call from the employees, from the business units, from the knowledge workers for this. And how do you respond to that with Microsoft Teams? So Microsoft Teams is a very complete environment, and of course you need to assess. You need to first assess what is your employee experience today. What do they experience, how many tools you're using, etc. How do you migrate to Microsoft Teams? What equipment, what solutions will that help replacing typically? And that's something we can do with our digital business consulting teams. And of course, you can start rolling out Microsoft Teams very easily. So I know here you're all Teams users. You can start very quickly rolling out Microsoft Teams, but then...
Everybody has Teams, right? Raise your hands if you have it.
Okay. All right, thank you. And typically, not everybody is born with a tablet or a smartphone or a laptop in their hands. So, and usually you hire people because they are very good in their own area of expertise, right? Which is not necessarily IT and technology. So user adoption services are crucial in making sure users can get most of the solutions and know how to use the collaborative features of Microsoft Teams, how to exchange information and be more efficient with the solution. A lot of our customers then look at voice, right? So SIP trunking, Operator Connect, direct routing, this type of technologies you may be familiar with, right? Orange already has a sweet spot in this area because we are covering in more than 36 countries worldwide with full local voice services. However, and in the voice area, we're also working on adding artificial intelligence in the voice network to enable proactive monitoring, for instance, and detecting proactively issues that happens on the voice. I can explain more if you need in expert sessions or during the coffee break, feel free. But also, we know not all countries can be covered, right? That's what Christophe shared this morning with the HP case, for instance, in India, in China, in Brazil. There are countries where the regulatory environment is so that you can't have one single provider who will help you have all of your voice centralized. And this is why we have services like multi-service integration, where we can take, so as I like Christophe saying, complexity does not disappear. We take over the complexity, right, for you with multi-service integration, managing the local telecommunication operators on your behalf.
To pursue the image from this morning, we can wear the orange socks, that's fine. Right?
Thanks. And then, so your users are now using the solution. They start having voice services. They can interact with the outside world, with other companies using Microsoft Teams. But a lot of companies still encourage, or at least have had to adopt following COVID-19, home working strategies. People are traveling again. People are coming to events. People are visiting customers on site. So necessarily, you may organize meetings today which are hybrid by design. And back in 2019, it was probably acceptable to assume everybody would be on site for a meeting, and the few people who would not be on site could have a terrible experience with just a phone, getting only the voice, not getting all the signals from the users and from the attendees. But today, that's no longer acceptable, right? People need to be fully embedded in the discussion, whether they're working from home, from the office, or on the go at the airport or at their customer premises, right? And this is what is enabled by the Microsoft Teams rooms and our managed services around Microsoft Teams rooms. And then when we talk about integration with the environment, of course, you've got other business applications, right? Your knowledge workers are not exclusively using Microsoft Teams and the Microsoft Office suite, right? So integration of Microsoft Teams and the Microsoft 365 environment with business application is a key endeavor. And especially with contact center. This is something we have done for many customers. I have a customer case a bit later in the presentation where I can elaborate on what we've done for Mondelez, for instance. But of course, contact center, CRM, these are tools which need to integrate. Usually, if you review your workplace strategy, if you review your employee experience, you also want it to be at the benefit of your customers and of your customer experience, right? So these are two topics which are tightly related. Then, of course, you need to manage the solution. There are governance topics, there are tenant management topics, application management, etc. What I think is very important at this stage is also the customer success management. Understanding, so now your users are using the solution, you've got different building blocks, you need to understand how people are using their solution and are they getting the most productivity out of it. Right, we are talking about positive productivity. Is it a positive experience to migrate to Teams for your users? Is it a positive experience? Is it really bringing productivity to your company? And here again, I have a customer case where I'm going to give you a few examples.
And on this one, you also have to think the perspective of using something like Copilot. If the experience is not great today, it's just going to get, people are going to get more impatient with that later. So getting it right today is really important for what's coming next.
Yep, exactly, and that's a good transition in terms of harnessing the potential. Once you have these integrations with the voice, with the conferencing rooms, with the business applications, how do you get most of it? How do you improve your people's job? And for you as IT director, there's also a key point, which is typically Power Platform enable users to have low code and probably tomorrow with Copilot no code type of approach in order to automate their own work, right? That's a great opportunity for the businesses. That's also a big threat for the IT as well, because at some point you need to understand how people are using the solutions. And is that having an impact on the way I designed my IT resources, I designed my network, for instance? If a factory started to automate using the Power Platform some of the production or some of the ordering processes, for instance, probably as IT directors, you want to be aware that this is happening because you want to make sure that the network and all the other IT components are supporting this strategy from the business of going through automation. And this is something we have seen at some customers actually happening, and this is why we have developed a citizen development framework where you can, we can help your businesses and you as IT directors defining a framework for automation in the company led by the business using the Power Platform. And AI in the workplace, we're going to speak about Copilot at the end of this presentation. And the next topic after me will be about securing all of this cloud strategy and the devices with Julien. So just quickly, two customer cases I wanted to bring to your attention. Number one is with Mondelez, so food processing company. So the key target for them, the key business outcome they were looking at was harnessing productivity to better serve their customers, right? As I mentioned, fully connecting all the operations to increase the collaboration, having one collaboration solution in the company, but enabling these business functions to improve the customer experience, right? You just don't have the product manager on the one hand designing a product, and on the other hand, your contact center handling all the complaints from the customers without the product manager being able to bring a solution and contribute to resolving the solution. And remember, there's a tight relationship between NPS, Net Promoter Score, and sales. There are multiple studies on the topic with impact between the NPS variation and the sales, both ways. And of course, staying ahead of global supply chain challenges. That's a customer we implemented in 2021, 2022, which was not the best moment in terms of supply chain for companies. So the solution we implemented, we simplified, we took over the complexity, right, as I mentioned earlier. So both from an IT and telco vendor ecosystem perspective, taking the ownership, walk-in, takeover kind of approach. We implemented NICE-CX1 for their contact center solution and integrated that with Microsoft Teams so that the agent can reach directly to the product managers, to the different knowledge workers in the company to try to respond faster to customer problems. Right, and improve customer satisfaction. And customer success management, we mentioned it earlier, we mentioned that can apply to Copilot. Sometimes detecting where a disruption point comes from is totally unrelated to telco or IT. For instance, at Mondelez, the biggest problem was getting headsets for the users. It was taking 8 days between when a user wanted to get a headset and when he was actually getting the headset delivered at his location, which of course you can imagine the impact on attending meetings if you're working in an open space or if you're working from home and you don't have a dedicated, not everybody has a dedicated office at home, right? That can be challenging for the users. So we detected that was the key problem for their users to be more productive and more happy with their job. And we managed to reduce that to 2 days to get a headset, for instance. Right, and now we are moving forward with them on hybrid meetings for 232 rooms, not only buying 232 new rooms, but also managing their legacy equipment, poly environment, connecting it to the Microsoft Teams cloud. I will take a second customer story, which is a global mineral solution company, so mining and mineral transformation. They had legacy IT and telecom equipment, you know, that are companies which are not always looking at being on the best technology all of the time, but at some point you can't live with your legacy technologies any longer, right? So bringing equipment in the workplace and enhancing their customer relationship with Microsoft Teams, that was really their target. And for that, they wanted to standardize their collaboration all around Microsoft Teams. And because you need to adapt the network to the new usage, they wanted to adopt SD-WAN as well, together with Orange. So our solution was to migrate them from migrate them to Teams telephony with a mix of direct routing and operator connect. Replacing their lightweight contact center solution. So remember, it's a B2B company in the mining industry. They don't get lots of calls, right? But calls are important for their activities still. So replacing, let's say, putting a Genesis or a NICE solution in place for their contact center would probably be an overkill in terms of cost, in terms of TCO, and in terms of features. So we migrated them to Microsoft Teams for their simple contact center requirements. And because they were missing some applications and some features that they had previously implemented, Power Automate workflows to compensate for the features they were needing in their contact center, allowing them to fully migrate to Microsoft Teams environment. And of course, they also had some users once migrated to Microsoft Teams who started to automate their own work, right? So we helped them optimize the workflow that they had already implemented, in order to make sure they run more reliably and in a more timely fashion. Right, and then of course the deployment of SD-WAN, and we are now discussing how to further optimize the usage and the reporting capabilities around Microsoft Teams. Thank you. Now, Microsoft Teams is a complete environment already for collaboration. How do we secure that?
Okay, let's talk about cyber defense, but first a short video.
The way we work is changing. The threats we face are evolving. Securing complex, modern, hybrid and multi-cloud environments is challenging traditional methodologies and requires precise skills. Microsoft has become one of the most powerful partners for ensuring safer workspaces. The tools available are effective and expansive. but the skills required to operate them are specialized and in high demand. Orange CyberDefense understands the need to maximize the value of your Microsoft security investments and the importance of an optimized security posture within Microsoft environments. Our managed services are designed to deliver on that promise and more. We will help you leverage best practice to improve your security maturity and ensure full ROI on your Microsoft investment. Keep pace with the frequency of new features and improve overall security outcomes. We are here to manage and amplify the value of the Microsoft security ecosystem that you have access to. We have the resources, experience, and expertise to address any issue you may encounter, while extending your protection across the entire threat lifecycle. We strategically layer security to provide round-the-clock, future-ready, managed protection, detection, and response powered by an intelligence-led approach, augmenting your Microsoft security technology investment with advisory, professional, and managed security services. You will overcome talent shortages and boost your Microsoft security ecosystem. Supersize the value of your Microsoft security investments today with Orange CyberDefense.
Orange CyberDefense.
So when we look at the Microsoft security portfolio, it's quite impressive. In fact, they have invested, I think it's more than $5 billion in dollar over the last 5 years to buy other companies or to do R&D. And so here we are. They have plenty of solutions. It's a real Roman Empire. In fact, when we look at all these solutions, they have solutions for security, they have solutions for identity and management, they have solutions as well for compliance and privacy. And they really want to cover everything in terms of security. And they have quite a success because we are getting, as a service company, Orange CyberDefense, we are getting more and more requests from our customers that want to leverage that portfolio in their company. So for sure, it's offer a real opportunity for most of them, most of the customers to unify a little bit the security. In terms of procurement, it's simpler as well because there is only one vendor. You have this problem, you know, with a lot of security tooling. Every company is sharing the same, a lot of tools. It was the best of breed approach that we used to talk before. And so consolidation, it's a real opportunity to come up with something more simpler with Microsoft. But unfortunately, technology alone is not enough, and it doesn't, I would say, eliminate the complexity of setting up all this solution and doing a cyber defense program. So among the challenge we have when we speak with customers, they are, I would say, all sharing a bit the same. Understanding if they are using their Microsoft security product according to the best practice, because these are still, I would say, new product for us. They would like as well to align this solution to be sure that these solutions are aligning what they want to do in terms of security level of protection. So aligning the security with the target in terms of security. They want to ensure as well if their investment support a broader strategy in terms of security. So, I mean, they have other solutions, they have other process, so it's not only a discussion of one technology. This has to fit with what they currently have. And they want as well to address the skill shortage they currently have in terms of resources, in terms of expertise. And they needed as well technical competence in setting up the Microsoft security software. So at Orange CyberDefense, so globally we are helping them with the cyber security expert that we have. So we are more than 140 to be certified on Microsoft security product. In fact, I think it's more than 1 year or on a half ago, we launched a program internally to be at, to embrace this change, so to train a lot of people internally and to propose new solutions to our customers because we had a real, in fact, demand in terms of volume. So, and we need to address that. And now we are certified solution partner in terms of security. We are among the 300 to be in the Microsoft Intelligent Security Association. And the small things in blue at the bottom, at the left bottom, Microsoft Certified Managed XDR Solution. We are among the 30 in the world to get that certification. So long story short, it means that Microsoft came to verify our delivery platform if this fits with the best practice of Microsoft. So we are aligned, and so we are delivering good service for that. Regarding the portfolio of Microsoft, our objective and what we currently do is covering the whole portfolio with our framework, which is assessing, so helping customers in doing, for instance, ethical hacking engagement, advising our customers with services such as crisis management, helping the customers in building their go-to Microsoft strategy by, for instance, helping them in the design, helping them in the configuration of the security tool, and for sure the run of this solution globally 24/7. And from what I saw, it's all vertical, all size of company. It's not specific to a specific industry. This trend is really shared across all the different customers from what we see. So I wanted to show you a concrete example, which is one of the things we are doing the most in terms of service for the most customers, is helping them in using their Defender, Microsoft 365 Defender. So you are probably a team user, so your company use Team, so you are probably a Microsoft 365 enterprise license owner. Within this license, you have a software called Defender. So this software, to keep things short, stop attack and help coordinated response across your digital assets. So this protects your endpoint, so your computer, your smartphone. This protects as well your identities, again, advanced attack. This is protecting as well the cloud app part, so you can think of, we call that sometimes CASB as well, so they have these capabilities. You have protection against bad email as well, for instance, phishing or stuff like that. Defender is protecting as well, for instance, in Teams, when people are sharing link from users to users, they have a technology to protect the links that they are sharing. So this technology is included into Defender as well. And so if you want, a lot of customers that started the Microsoft journey with Microsoft 365 Teams and this license, they discovered that they have a Defender, and they came up with this idea: why do we all still paying for best of breed security software if we have this Defender included? Let's use it. And at the same time, Microsoft was placing a lot of money to be aligned with Gartner, to be aligned with security industry standard, and they came to a really good level. And that's why now we are here in onboarding at Orange CyberDefense on, I would say, a large scale, a lot of customers, Defender tenants, that seek help in configuring their Defender tenants, benchmarking what they have, enhance their security posture thanks to the security score that Defender is providing. We are helping them as well in detecting threat. In fact, it's a kind of our core services. So we are managing the incident, or this kind of software is delivering a lot of alerts, so you have to process this alert. This is our job, to understand this alert and to say to the customer what we think of this alert and to process this alert at the end. So for sure, this needs to be automated. So we are using a Core Fusion platform for that. This is this platform that has been certified by Microsoft. So we are among the 30 to be certified. It means that we are using the API of Microsoft, well-documented API, by the way, to get the information from the customers, so the customer can find all this security information into a centralized customer portal. He can also do the follow-up regarding the ticketing that what we are currently doing at Orange CyberDefense. And it's helping us as well internally to do some automation, because we are kind of, it's really something we need to do because we have so much job, in fact, to do that we need to automate. So we are using machine learning as well to come up with to save time in dealing with alert. And we have our threat intelligence as well. So each customers that is onboarding with us benefit the threat intelligence of Orange CyberDefense on top of what you have with Microsoft. Customer example. So these customers choose us several times ago. So it's a company in the food industry. So as a lot of companies, the food industry, and this one is on the B2C market, so meaning that they have, I think, 9 or 10 brands, famous brands, so very exposed to phishing, fraud, basically that can target their own employee, but most of all their final customers, so and their brand. So they really need to have something. So they were in a move to go to Microsoft. With Azure, but with Microsoft 365 as well, and they wanted to leverage Defender included into their license, but as well Sentinel for advanced security use case, detection use case. The thing is that they wanted 24/7 services with capacity worldwide, so this is a capacity most of the customers are seeking, in fact, in cybersecurity. And it was so a priority for them. Things that we've seen that before they were using an IT provider, a specialist in Microsoft, but not in cybersecurity. And they were a little bit disappointed about the services when it's come to cybersecurity. So us at Orange CyberDefense, we are specialists in cybersecurity. So we propose them a managed services on top of Sentinel, which is a SIEM. So it's help us to process dozens of logs of all their application, and on top of Defender, so the software I've just shown you just before. So we are leveraging as well our proactive services. We have a threat intelligence, but we have as well our intelligence-led program. It's something else. To keep long story short, because we are covering the whole threat life cycle from anticipation to protection with firewall and detection with SIEM. In fact, all our solutions are connected and are providing threat intelligence that at the end we are resharing this threat intelligence to customers. Long story short, for instance, if we get an information about the new threat from the day, we are able to see in where exactly, in what country, which customers have been targeted by this new threat. And it helps us to make more proactive in doing a heads up to the other customers regarding this new threat. So it's a vision that we have. And so in terms of benefits, the customers now can use fully his investment into Microsoft 365 because he's using his Defender and his Sentinel as well, which is a CM completely in the cloud SaaS application. And something interesting as well, it's because we are as well, we have done cybersecurity for years, so it means that we are not starting with Microsoft. We know as well the other technologies. Most of the customers, they have plenty of other technologies, so our specialty is cybersecurity and cyber defense services, so we can help with the other technologies, and this is what we are doing, so that they have a comprehensive cyber defense program. That was all for me. Thank you very much. I think I need to...
Thank you, Julien.
It's for you.
Any question for Julien before we move on to the last section? I'm going to let Laurent introduce it. We're not coming to you with a full knowledge and understanding of exactly how Copilot is going to work for you within the context of your companies. I think we're very much in a stage where we are all learning and preparing for it. So we thought we'd have a quite open discussion now on Copilot. I'm going to let Laurent introduce obviously what Copilot is. Sure. Who doesn't know what Copilot is? Great. But still, Laurent is going to introduce it, and then we're going to have a fairly open discussion. Laurent?
Yeah, thank you. No, that's very interesting topic. Just before going to this topic, what I wanted to share about Orange CyberDefense is that in the past 6 months, we saw Orange CyberDefense becoming one of the top 2 partner of Microsoft in terms of cybersecurity. So this is a really, really strong collaboration that we are having. I close the parentheses. So now Copilot, just to clarify a couple of questions that most of the time our customers are asking about what is OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, Copilot, Security Copilot, GitHub Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot, what this is all about. So just let me recap a little bit. As you may know, OpenAI is a company that was built in 2015 by Elon Musk and a couple of associates, right? So this was a startup at that time. In 2019, Microsoft decided to invest massively in this startup in order to accelerate the pace of research and development in this LLM, large language models that they were working on, right? Based on that, Microsoft opened the infrastructure that we have hosted in Microsoft Azure to let OpenAI using this infrastructure to develop the system. At the end, what was the result? The result was a first service that was able to our customers using these AI capabilities built by OpenAI as a service called Azure OpenAI, which I will be able to explain into more details if you come to see us at the Microsoft Pod in the partner area. So based on these Azure OpenAI capabilities, customers are today able to leverage those capabilities in terms of data analysis, management, and so on. More recently, Microsoft expanded the use of these AI capabilities, combining them to the Microsoft Graph model that has been built since many years in our Microsoft 365 environment. You know, Microsoft Graph is this hierarchical mechanism that is able to link user entity to object entities, etc., in the entire organization, right? So the models that have been built by OpenAI, used by Microsoft, are now made available to customers in order to leverage those models on customers' data. So many times, questions that we have are, wait a minute, are you saying that you are going to use my data to train your model? The answer is no. Are you saying that my data from my company might be transferred to Microsoft in order to execute some kind of AI calculations? The answer is no, right? So the principle, and this is what we currently are developing, and by the way, you saw what was the pace of development since 2021 up to now. The pace of publishing this Copilot concept to literally all the Microsoft environment has been so fast that we are not today in a position to open it widely to all of you as customers. But we are starting some technical preview programs for a selected number of customers worldwide so that they can start familiarizing with those concepts. So ultimately, where we are today, we have announced Microsoft 365 Copilot. I have a bunch of demonstrations on the Microsoft booth in the partner area that you can come and see. They really illustrate the direct benefit for end customers in terms of producing content, analyzing content, structuring content, and so on and so forth. We also announced back in 2021 Copilot for GitHub. Actually, the right name was GitHub Copilot. This was the first initiative where we leveraged the OpenAI capability to generate code, to analyze code, to correct code for developers. This has been the most attractive system that we developed for developers. And more recently, we announced Microsoft Security Copilot. So those capabilities, as we move forward, will come on top of each and every Microsoft environment. And you definitely have to think about it as a personal or organizational helper on the daily basis work that your users are doing. So a Copilot is really dedicated to provide help in order for these users to get more productive, right? So this is a very short introduction. I have in mind two scenarios that was demonstrated live when we were with the Orange delegation in Seattle a couple of weeks ago, where, for example, many of us have Teams meetings that are overlapping in the day where you cannot attend, but this was very important and so on. So one example that I really found exciting was the fact that if you cannot attend a meeting that you were supposed to attend to, and if the person who attended the meeting recorded the meeting, then the transcript from speech to text has been registered as well. So what Copilot can do, Copilot can be requested to create a summary of the meeting that you were not able to attend, right? So if you see it in live, working on your data based on models that have been trained outside, this is amazing. The power of the capability of this Copilot to structure some content, right? Another one that I saw was really crazy looking at it was if you have, let's say, 12 pages document that you have to summarize into a nice, smart designed PowerPoint deck, you just throw it away to Copilot, asking him in English word or Spanish word or whatsoever, please create me a 10-slide document from this. It will generate a wonderful PowerPoint deck. So these are the capabilities that we can demonstrate in the booth if you come to see us. Right? I think we are over time. So thank you, everyone. We really invite you to come and see us either at the CyberDefense booth or at the Microsoft booth, and we'll be very pleased to further the conversation. Thank you.
Orange Business.